everyone, and welcome back. We're back again. Storm here.
Kimmy here.
Mom here.
So we have finished the Breaking Bad series. We were all blind to it. It was such a fantastic series. The story was phenomenal. Like,
genius.
I was really thinking about it. Like, we watch it once a week, and you really get to think about everything that takes place. And there was pretty much no filler in this at all. We just kept trucking forward, and so many twists and shocks along the way. What I was thinking from the beginning was I thought that Jesse and Walt together as a team, happy-go-lucky in my little world, they're doing crime, doing drugs, not good. I mean, making drugs. Jesse was doing some drugs. But I really thought that they were going to change the system. Not that it's a good thing, but they were going to make it better where it wasn't as violent, which makes no sense. But that's where I thought it was going to happen. That's where I thought it was going, where people were going to start really respecting Walt and Jesse, and they worked so well together, and they made this business so successful due to Walt's genius that they were just going to change the game and be highly respected. Like even the cartel, the cousins we saw when they were crawling, but that was like a religious thing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a huge jump forward to show how big Heisenberg got, that they were worshiping him. They were crawling as like a sign of worship. I totally just had this whole vision that was wrong. But when you think about it, it makes sense, Breaking Bad, that we're seeing this guy who went down this path of darkness pretty much because of greed, like he wanted to take care of his family. And there's so many different opinions about that. I mean, did he always have this bad in him, this crime, making drugs and stuff? Like, did that bring out the worst of him, or did that actually change him as a person? A lot of people ask us this question, like all the way through the series they were asking us this. What do you guys think? Do you think that Walt always had the bad in him, or his experiences changed him and made him the way he ended up?
I think his experiences changed him.
Yeah, and that would make sense too. And I think so as well, because I've debated this with a few fans, and everyone's always so kind. It's a fun debate. It's not bad. And it's always so interesting how different people think about it. I think all the stuff that Walt went through, he had good intentions in the beginning. Of course, like he's selling drugs to people who have problems, and that's not good. But he wanted to save his family, and he did it just for those reasons. But then the power took over. So I feel like the experiences led him to get as bad as he got. But at the same time, from the beginning, once I think the first bad thing we saw him do was with Walt Jr. with the bullies or something. Or was it with that guy on the phone? I don't remember. But like that lawyer guy on the phone, blah, 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 and he like blew up the car, and then he challenged those kids or something.
Yeah,
so,
the kids in the clothing store.
Yeah, so he had that from the beginning, you know, this pent-up rage. So it's kind of always been there, and I do believe that he did feed into it, but the experience,
I think his confidence level started. He started getting a little confidence.
Big ego boost.
And every time he did another cook in the Winnebago with Jesse, he
was able to use his talent to its full potential.
Even right to his sex life with his wife. I mean,
doing the eBay thing in the beginning.
From eBay to then they had sex in the car right in the school parking lot. Like he was getting more confident. And then telling Jesse in the beginning, oh, I only need $700 and something thousand to start to do my treatment, to leave money for my family. And then it just took over him. Just completely took over. He needed excuses to need more money.
Yeah.
To make it.
Right, and it just took him over. It was really bad. And again, I love all your opinions. And I want to just say that I don't think Walt was a horrible, horrible monster. I was enraged when Hank died. And
me too.
I do still believe, though, in that moment, because some people were getting defensive. And again, not bad, but just telling me he's not, or he wasn't as bad of a monster as you're making him out to be. But yes and no, and I know he loved Hank. I know he didn't want Hank to die. I kept saying, you killed Hank, because of all his greed and anger, and then trying to kill Jesse, because all this buildup was because of Walt initially. So that led to Hank's death. So that's why I was upset and saying, like, you killed Hank. All of your doing caused all this to happen. If he didn't do it, Hank wouldn't have died this way. He might have lived a long life and grew old and stuff. I mean, like, he has a dangerous job. But I was thinking in that moment, because when Hank was shot, Walt was so destroyed by that and just fell to his knees, because I think a few of you were even explaining that to me. Like, I totally got that scene. That was highly emotional. He cares, absolutely. But I think that was also another breaking point on his part, where for him to still say to the uncle and team, you didn't finish the job, after he just died. And Jesse's right there, because yes, he might be afraid Jesse's going to take out his family still, but to still focus on that, and you can see the rage in him. Yes. He's right there. Yeah. I see him now. Like, he's so full of rage. Like, come on, like, you trusted and almost loved Jesse. I think he really did care for Jesse. He saved him at the end, so he did turn that around, and I'm happy he did at the end. I thought that was good. But for him, now Jesse's pulled out, he's on his knees, going to be executed, and Walt gives the okay. He's staring at Jesse, about to get shot, and he nods. Like, that's not normal. That is a monster right there. Come on. Like, I know you're mad about Hank, absolutely, but I think that really destroyed him, to be able to go that far to someone you cared about and worked with. Maybe he wasn't like family, but he did call him son a few times, and he did care. He was manipulating him a lot, but I feel like he did care about him to a certain extent and wanted him to be on his side and didn't want to put out a hit on him initially. So I just was shocked in that whole moment that he actually watched and they were going to kill him right there.
Yes, I think it was shocking. And maybe he thought also in the moment, okay, well, he just not only brought the DEA out there, his brother-in-law included, to set up Walt, and now he's the only one alive. So
you know what? That's a good point. Good. Yeah.
They also have to get rid of Jesse in that case, because he was gonna narc on him then. Now he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, and that also might be why Walt was just so angry even more at Jesse, because Hank died because Jesse brought him out there. Even though he didn't think that was going to happen.
He was begging Jack, don't kill my brother-in-law. And even when he said, hey, Fed, or he called him Sparky and Fed, he goes, his name is Hank.
Yeah.
His name is Hank.
He was so upset.
He did not want Hank to die.
He didn't, and he even called it off and everything. Like, he tried everything he could to make it stop. So, so you're right. Thinking also Walt was enraged because of Jesse bringing him out there. So I didn't really think of it that way. So, but still, to be able to look at someone that you kind of cared about and then give the nod and still no flinching, not like, okay, and looking away and be like, yes, do it, like still enraged, but to just stare at someone that you had a past with, that you cared about, and just stare at them point blank with a gun. They're on their knees. Like, that just shocked me. So that's why I was like, he's such a monster. And I was in the emotion of Hank just dying. So
absolutely.
That was such a hard episode.
It was. And Hank was a man through and through. He was determined. He was a cop through and through, and he refused to give up. And he knew what the criminal was going to do.
Yeah.
He has that intuition. And also, going back to Hank with Jesse, and on top of it, he told him about Jane. It was almost like a confession to make himself feel better.
Exactly. And if you mentioned that, yes. Oh, good. But to say that when he has no control, he's about to be killed. Like, his life has been screwed up, and he lost everything because of this guy, and his Mr. White, like, put a hit on him for him calling him Mr. White. Like, he had respect for him. Yes. And he was afraid of him because he was killing all their friends, so he was out of control. Like, he's already a prisoner, going to be killed at some point. And for him to walk up to clear his conscience like that, like, that's not going to help Jesse. That's going to make him more enraged to be like, you did that. And almost gave like a at least a feeling to me that Walt's like, I'm free, you're not. I killed her. See how much I manipulated you? You had no idea.
Like
so he's like clearing his conscience, but at the same time, I was like, he's doing that as another dig. I took that as another dig. So a few of you were saying that, he did that. I do think that too, to feel better.
I think he was doing that to feel better, but he said it really nasty. That was not.
I killed Cheng. And to say it when he's about to die, he's a prisoner. He can't escape. He has no control over the situation. So I'm like, I think that's the worst thing to hear right now, because now you can't get your revenge. You can't, like, not that he should, but it was just a bad situation. So I just got really mad at that whole thing. But it's so interesting how many different comments, how many different perspectives we have with Walt's character, with the whole, like, show in general. And so, restarting, what do you guys think is going to happen in this movie? Or what would you guys like to see happen in this movie?
Well, I would like to see Walt's family go in terms with what had happened and Marie will go with them too, with Skylar and Walt Jr. and Holly, and they all get together and go just in terms with everything.
Yeah, I know, because they've been through so much. They both lost their husbands now, and I really hope that too. I'm gonna be simple and just say I hope Jesse survives this, because I was heartbroken when Walt died. He's been through so much. I thought it was a cool way in how he died, because he wasn't arrested by the cops. Like, he still was like this bad...
He actually got away.
Yeah, this cool bad drug lord, pretty much, and he got away with it. He wasn't arrested, so now there's going to be this major story. I mean, it was already a story beforehand, but holy crap, like, scot-free.
What a story.
Yes.
What a story, huh? But I am really sad he died.
Yes, and he was reminiscent down in the meth lab, too. He's going through everything.
I thought that was perfect. Yeah, and he's like
he was
touching
probably
his
saying,
blood.
I would have done this much
That's
better.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh God, the memories. And I couldn't
remember
better.
Remember the episode with the fly? Like, he was insane
Oh
about
my
that.
God,
Can you imagine he was thinking about this lab here?
Oh, I know, they're
yes.
everywhere.
I was like,
Instead of like
wow.
bee's knees, or whatever they call it, you have like fly legs. Ew, it gets you higher. Gross.
I hope in this movie, it says El Camino. We know Jesse took off in an El Camino. I'm hoping to God there's like some cash somewhere in that El Camino.
Yeah.
Somehow he just gets away. Maybe he goes to Alaska. Who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
I know, I'm curious.
He hooks up with Saul.
That would be funny, because I'm like, what is this going to be about? Because they already resolved the thing. I thought that was so cool on how Walt took out that gang. He took them out like freaking Nazis. And I love how he didn't let him finish his sentence when he's like, you'll never know. And he just like shoots him. How smart. And I am happy that Walt saved Jesse again, just to say that, because he actually thought that through. Holy crap, I did this to this guy. And so it was kind of redeeming himself.
Yes, and Jesse took out Todd.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
I thought Todd was going to be in the movie. I thought that was going to be the ultimate revenge. Yeah, he was crazy. And even him looking out like, what the heck? Like, everything he does. And if you've even commented, which, again, it's our first time watching, so it was really funny, because when they were doing that terrible shootout in the desert, and Todd, when he was shooting, he was still like a kid, like, people were like...
Just doing one time. I really don't think at that moment, I don't think he really wanted to participate. He was just letting them go crazy, because if you notice, he was just doing one at a time. He wasn't as like Kenny, the guy, Jack's sidekick, was like going ballistic. He was he was the first one who made the shot, but he wasn't as, or maybe he was being more precise, but there was a lot of shots, and
I think he was just out there. Because I know we were thinking that maybe he had better intentions for Jesse. Of course he didn't now, because he killed his girlfriend. That was so sad. Like, she was such a sweetheart.
Really
and I'm hoping, maybe thinking about it, that he can actually, I don't know if he can help Brock out or adopt Brock. I mean, he's on the he's on the run, so he can be like, hey, Jesse Pinkman here. Whoops, So I am really curious. We'll get into it, and then I know we'll have a lot to say afterwards.
Yes. I just hope Jesse finds money.
And also, Lydia got hers
with the ricin. That was another thing from the beginning. We saw the ricin from the beginning. Ongoing joke. What a good way for her to die, honestly.
We all do. Ever since we saw the ricin and everything.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to be this like ultimate empire where they changed the system, and then they're like, oh, well, we're not violent people, but if you cross us, ricin in your drink, ricin in your drink. Cheers, guys, drinks on us. But yeah, we didn't even see that till the way end, and I love how it was given to Lydia. How messed up is that too?
Perfect closure.
I love how someone was poisoned. But what a show. So I am sad to be watching the last movie, but I can only imagine what you guys went through watching it for the first time on TV, and then having years later, like so many years of a gap pass before this came out. So I think with the series finale that we saw, that was the end of the story, because it wrapped up nicely. And then this, I don't like to hear spoilers, but I heard it was really good still, and I'm curious what this is about. I know Jesse's in it. I hope he survives it. Maybe it's like what I did for the rest of my life, and he's going to grow old and be like, I have money somewhere.
That's right.
I'm hoping he redeems himself too, because he's been trying to. He feels so guilty, and maybe he will find money, like you said, and maybe he'll donate it or find a way to just give back to the people or something. So.
Yeah, or just survive.
Yes.
Just
Just
survive,
survive.
in Alaska.
Oh,
He
so.
had to go to Alaska.
He won Alaska! Yeah! That would be peaceful, though. I mean, it gets cold, but it's nice and you get a lot of
To each
wildlife
their
around
own.
you. Yeah, that would be cool. So, shall we, ladies?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're on the movie.
Oh
I am
my
excited.
goodness.
I never thought we would get to this anytime soon. It just
wow,
feels like it flew by
amazing.
so fast. All right, so El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Aww.
6. I can't believe he got out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, lay low, lay low.
Lights are off.
Lay low. Is this snow? Oh, crap.
Oh, gee.
Dude, you
Oh,
suck.
no,
I was going to say, let's
badger.
like a game.
Oh my God.
No dust in the control.
Well, good
We'll just
friends,
move a
though.
fence.
Yeah,
God, what the?
they thought this
Oh.
through. No.
Easy does it. Yo.
Oh my God, yo. Oh God. The vision. Just reliving
Yeah.
it.
Oh, jeez.
Who's trying to
look at-
escape?
Oh my gosh, look at him.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, easy, easy,
Whoa,
easy.
whoa.
Wake up, wake up.
That's Jesse, you're
Oh.
sick. Because the old one might have like hairs on it and shit. Yo, I got Axe
Oh,
body
my.
spray. I got Obsession for Men. I got Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh no, no,
Oh,
he's
no, he's
drinking-
thinking that now. Oh, jeez.
Oh, the poor guy.
Yeah, because we don't know what he went through really.
Remember when he was excited about the magnet?
Yeah.
Magnets. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh no.
You won't take it?
Oh,
Tracker on it? What's
Oh,
that
it's
mean?
tracker. Holy crap.
oh, jeez.
Farewell.
Oh, my
his
lord.
friends too,
Oh,
yeah.
my lord.
Topless.
Oh,
Oh
boy,
no.
oh,
You
boy.
pencil.
Oh, jeez.
Just take it. The cops are coming.
I know he's so like,
200-300
He's such-
ditches.
what a good friend. Like just going with it. Instead of being like, look what you did.
Yo, kick in, bitch.
Come on.
Doing it.
My God, I'll tell you.
Oh, my God.
Okay, well they don't know.
Oh, convoy.
Oh, jeez.
Right by him.
Oh, yeah.
All of those cops.
Ew.
Oh,
I'm gonna do a better job of keeping you clean from now on. Okay?
Like a pet.
Promise.
He's still way down there.
Just looking at stuff, watering plants or
Which
something.
key? Which key?
Great.
Oh, it's
Oh,
all
I
taped
hope he
up.
doesn't have to hurt this guy.
Oh, God.
Tape just fell
Shut,
off.
shut,
It's all
shut,
good.
shut, shut, shut. Oh, he's just cleaning. Good.
There you go. Oh, you're so good.
Oh, good. Put that back. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What is that? What is it?
Jesus.
But first, what? Do I want to know?
Please don't, make me feel worse than I already do.
Oh, God. That's wacko.
Sonia, the cleaning lady.
Oh, God, he's so weird. Wacko. Such a wacko. Nice. That's sick.
He puts it back on.
No.
My God.
Reusable. Oh, I think that is the kids, right?
I don't know.
Oh,
Might be. That's
possibly.
messed up.
Lower down steady. Oh, God.
West.
It's gonna splat.
Oh, my God in heaven.
Broad daylight.
Oh,
Timber.
God.
Toot toot. With the body.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
God.
my.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
Don't tempt it.
Maybe he doesn't have
Don't!
bullets in there.
It's going to be empty and you're going to get screwed again. You're
That's
going to get
what I
back to the
figured.
cage.
Probably no bullets.
This might
in
be
there.
a test. I doubt it, but.
The last place he looks is gonna find it. Maybe not.
Wow, what an apartment.
Whoa.
Please look there.
I'm going to hit that and say, no wonder why there's nothing in the refrigerator. It
I was
might
just gonna
be.
say, I was just gonna say the freezer or the refrigerator. It's too
He
obvious.
keeps showing the fireplace.
Fireplace is another one, too.
Yeah, maybe.
Cold
This is probably the
cash.
last thing.
Cold
Ding ding. Ooh.
Nice.
Yes, it is. Yay. Bingo.
Oh, of course.
Oh, no!
Oh,
Of course,
oh,
right when he
course.
finds it.
Naturally.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Come on, sweetie. Get another stack and then go.
Is that freaking Lydia? Did he
Yeah,
get that
who's
custom
taking that in
made?
the blue?
Because she likes her tea or whatever. Oh my god, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't.
No.
Oh god.
Ooh, two guns.
Call your partner in here? Lieutenant. Now he knows there's something up because they'll probably just call him normally by his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at see?
His partner, Jesse. I hate everything about it.
Last thing Jesse wants to do too is kill somebody else.
What's this thing you need?
Seriously, throw
Put-
your gun in here
put
and
your
show
gun
me
down.
your hands.
Seriously, no. You point yours at me, I point mine at you. That's how this works.
Oh, come on.
They're coming up.
I just want him to shoot
Then
Jesse. I
how
don't
far
think
do
he'll
you
shoot them.
think you're gonna
There's
The
only
nosy
one
neighbor's
choice.
gonna come in again.
Oh, I hope he.
He's gonna do it. Damn it.
No, don't do it. Don't kill it.
Don't.
Oh,
No!
get? On the ground.
Yeah.
Guns down.
Alright,
On your stomach.
alright.
Jess!
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
no.
They caught him,
Are
but he's
they
at
really
the
cops?
I think they are.
They're not!
Oh, you're right.
All right. So she can figure that out.
Son of a
Oh,
gun!
God. Oh, crap.
Get out of there as much as you can. Oh, they're stuffing.
See, and he was so nice. I'm like, he's gonna
Yeah,
die.
right.
I don't want to see this guy go.
Detectives,
Oh,
everything
boy.
okay?
Oh, boy. Oh,
Turn him around. Knock his
I
back
gotta
off.
shoot you anyway.
Get him the knuckle sandwich.
Bam!
Oh, my gosh. Whoa.
So this will let his guard down.
Take any money. Say I knew that.
He won't. He's just gonna go. Just keep going, Jess.
Oh my god, don't. I know he's probably not going. Wow, just had a gun right in his face like that. Wow!
Big bitch after it.
I don't think he will.
Bitch.
If he does, I'll be
No,
so
I don't think
mad.
he'll need it. He wants to.
Oh, you're fine.
Don't be disrespectful though. Don't do it right in his business. He might
Oh,
have
my gosh.
cameras around just to be like a
That's
professional.
right, yeah.
I don't know. Who's gonna call?
Only 911?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's calling the cops.
Quality Vacuum, 27,
He wouldn't do it, 'cause-
14 4th Street.
But it makes him look good
Northwest,
if
that's
it is true.
Alex, yeah.
I
He's innocent.
would appreciate it very much if you sent someone immediately.
Once if he really did, they'll pull up.
Yeah, maybe.
Seriously, yo.
It might be
They're
right.
pulling up! They're
Yeah,
pulling
you were
up!
right. Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Green.
Wow, they both went to get their
To protect themselves
permits.
from him, I guess.
Oh. Oh, come on.
Oh god, it's there's no padding. Oh, my friend, my only gentle friend here.
Almost like when
When
he
he
was
was-
on that sidewalk.
And he almost stepped on it and he didn't.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh! I'm like, how the heck did he hear that? He just walked right in? Are you
Oh,
kidding?
my God.
It's almost like a Heisenberg move.
Cold out here.
Cool down here.
Uh-oh.
You ain't
We're gonna
leaving.
try to beat the crap out of him.
Oh,
No.
You turn around, we're gonna shoot you.
oh, yeah.
Like the Wild West.
Yeah,
What?
like the Wild West.
See, he was packing the whole time. With them there?
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus,
What the heck?
Neil. Come on, man. I didn't mean
You're gonna get
this.
shot. I swear. Jesse, better be okay.
Yeah.
On 3. And then do it on 1, Jesse.
Oh,
Jesse,
no.
Jesse. I will hate this movie. Oh!
Oh, my God. Whoa.
Get the money and go, baby. Get the money and go.
Good. You got the other gun.
Oh, come on.
Oh, good shot.
Whoa.
Bam.
Up goes the weasel.
Go.
Here, he opened the door for you.
Oh, he is on fire.
Oh, he is on fire, literally. Oh,
I'm like, that's a weird
nothing for
comment.
him. That's like, I just do a lot worse.
Blow it
Oh,
up. Oh, yep.
the welding equipment.
Whoa.
It was an accident, so maybe there'll be no proof
That's
that
right,
they were
they were
shot.
partying.
Yeah, bitch.
I love how he quotes.
He's all right. You all right?
He's so loud. He gets
Yeah,
He was caring to him.
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
totally graduated high school, dick. Which is like no thing.
I know he just assumes, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, oh, that's right, you just failed my class.
You didn't have to wait your whole life to do something special.
Drugs. You didn't have to wait your whole life. That's a good quote.
Amazing.
Alaska.
Oh, to Brock.
Oh,
I was imagining.
his first love.
I've gone where the universe takes me my whole life. It's better to make those decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
Smiling. That's it?
El Camino.
El Camino. Now I'm sad. It's truly over.
Oh, that's
Is it over? It is.
Oh my
Since Gilligan.
goodness, it is. Oh, he's in Alaska now.
I'm glad he got out.
Yeah.
I can't believe he survived it. He got
My
out.
gosh.
Yeah.
Got money.
Wow.
I am so happy. I'll keep the
Yeah.
credits rolling just in case if there's something at the
yeah.
end. But
Oh, jeez.
that was very good. What do you guys think?
It's
I liked it a lot.
it's
Thank
great
goodness he got
because
out.
yes, and it was
Went
a
to
movie
Alaska.
pretty much just for him.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
He needed his own movie. He's
That's
been
right.
so much on the
He's
back
been through
burner
so
and the
much
coattails
now,
of
you know?
Walt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
He's been through so much. I thought this was going to take a different direction than it did. I'm happy that it focused all on Jesse. We didn't see anything with Walt's family, but it finished sadly, but it finished well for the series because Walt said his goodbyes. He couldn't say goodbye to Walt Jr. and they moved on. They had to move on. So that
we knew the girls were going to be together. They were going to eventually
hopefully
be back
work it
together,
out and
the
have to work it out
sisters.
somehow.
And Walt
That's
Jr. was
right,
going to
yes.
get money. So you know he was going to filter it through the family, give some to his mom, his little sister.
Yeah.
So it did pretty much tie up that side.
That's right.
So that story was good. Yes.
Skinny Pete was such a good friend.
He
to
was
do
a
what he
very
did.
good friend.
Yeah.
We always knew that like his friends are always good. Like they all cared about each other. Like they went through a lot of bad things together. They did a lot of drugs and stuff they shouldn't be doing, but I get it. Like it doesn't make them bad people though.
Right.
I know they're breaking laws, but Pete really did care. Badger always cares too,
Badger,
but
yes,
he's always,
yes.
we used to make fun of him or just get a little annoyed because he would just be elsewhere and not really care about the current situation all the time. He was always elsewhere with stuff. But he was really caring too and followed through to help Jesse. But Pete was so smart to take that action and be like calm about it and say, this is what we have to do. You gave me this Camino. And I'm like, how smart was that to actually do that? Because I was like, you have to call him out because they know he's there. You just say, oh, he was here, have him take off in the car again. And that way you won't get in trouble because you already ratted him out that he was there and he could have just took off. But Pete was smart about it because if he just took off in the same car, they would have known and been tracking that car because so many cops passed him, but they weren't looking for that new car, that car that Pete had. So it was very smart. Oh no, that was Badger's car. He had Badger's car.
It was Badger's car.
Yeah, so Badger had his car. Badger had to drive his car away because Jesse traded cars with him because he had to.
Oh.
And so Badger actually drove that car away, so they tracked that car.
Is that why he did that? Okay.
Yes, and then
Badger,
then Jesse took Badger's car, so that way they would have no clue that was Jesse.
I see.
Does that make sense?
I was wondering, yes.
Yeah,
So the swapped car,
they did evenly swap
they
cars.
Evenly swapped car, but he had to make that one gone.
So Badger was pretending to be Jesse driving away with that car that they traded off with. Pete paid for the Camino. And then he had to drop off that car because he goes, within 3 hours or so, they're going to find out and they're going to find this car at some point. So you have to ditch it and then Jesse will pick you up or someone will pick you up and bring you back. So I'm assuming that was Jesse.
Back. Yes.
So that was the best way to go about it. So that was really smart for Pete to really just be calm and think it through. That was a perfect way. Because it was a cool reminder seeing Jesse and even the beanie on his head, like how perfect.
My God, yeah,
and him waiting and all these cars going by, all these police officers, and it shows you if he had his car, he would have been screwed. They would have, someone would have, like out of those cop cars, out it was him. But
and even when he was there right off the bat, Pete was so good. They both were great, and he just let him eat as much as he could. He couldn't believe, like when he just laid on the bed and just was out. Like as soon as he hit the bed, he was out. he just wanted to just make sure he was good. I understand Badger wanted him to see the show. I thought he actually wanted him to watch like a Star Trek show or something.
Yeah, I know, because he was
it
on
was
the news.
He has the news. So
because sometimes Badger rambles like that, where we're like, no, just focus on this right now. We're gonna do this, but. I like how it started off where it was right after what happened in the series. I know there is like a 5-6 year gap between the show and this. I think they did a good job on the characters where they look very similar. Some of them were more heavier set. They're aging, and it's 6 years later. You know, Jesse was a little bit more. Todd definitely was. I noticed that too.
Yes.
And Walt maybe a little bit, but I think they all looked pretty true to what they could do for right after. And I like how slow paced it was, where we're just taking in how heavy the situation was with Jesse being in captivity. And him just like trying to shower, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, you know. And then he's reminded of the torture that he went through and how he was like blasted with water. We didn't know that, but we can only imagine he was so abused there. And I was glad this wasn't fully focused on what he went through with Todd, because I'm like, are we just going to see these really bad things? And what did you guys think when Todd said, I have stuff for you to do, we're alone all weekend together, I need to do stuff with you or something? What did you guys think he was going to have him do?
Well, it's fitting what happened. It's fitting for Todd to what he did with him. But I thought immediately he was going to like, I didn't know, because he's so nice and polite. I think he was going to torture him or something.
Yeah.
Or just make him do something, or hit him if he didn't, or hurt him in some way.
I'm sure I was worried he was going to beat him and things.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, but it got in my head that he was going to rape him or something, because he's so weird that I wasn't sure if I
couldn't do it to Lydia, so.
Yeah, because I know he liked Lydia, but I'm like, maybe he has like this weird fantasy thing when he wants to make a friend that he just, I don't know, like maybe he just snaps and then just kills and then makes an excuse why it's okay. But he babies people a lot, and even talking about his, you know, his cleaning lady, and saying like, yeah, I felt really bad about that, but she saw the money. She didn't do anything wrong. She even brought it back. But how calm he is when he talks about things like that.
And we saw it right
putting the belt back on.
Start with him. Yeah. Like even when he killed the boy, that he kept the tarantula.
That's
as a token. But even when he kept the boy, well, he could have been a witness. Like it's a rational reason why he did it.
He's
just
like a child, like a very innocent child who does these horrific bad things that a lot of even bad people couldn't do, just killing children and stuff, like no problem. And I was surprised that he had the spider, but you're right, that never followed through. He did jar it, but then I didn't think anything of it after that, so he did keep it as a pet. He had a beautiful place, not my style, but it was still very pretty, you know, and very well kept. I wasn't sure what his place would look like.
Neat as a pin, just like Walt's condo.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be either extremely bare with nothing there, or it was going to be super cluttered and stuff.
He did
one
have
extreme
that,
or the other.
He did have that nice cleaning lady.
Yeah, she kept it nice and clean.
She did a very nice job. Too bad.
Poor lady.
But just the furniture and stuff that he had, like there was a lot of thought put in there, unless he hired a decorator.
That's right.
You know, like it was interesting, right, to see his place. It threw me off for sure.
And he dresses nice, so I can see that. Like if it was Uncle Jack's place, it would be just all like it was. Like their hangout place was just cruddy. But I was floored with those DEA guys going in there, or those feds guys going in, and we thought he was screwed going into Todd's place.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was insane.
That was very shocking. None of us knew. And with the DEA, like they were hinting towards things, because that nice old man, I really thought he was going to die. I'm like, they're staging this so much that, oh, he's so nice. He was talking to Todd all this time. He had no idea how bad this guy was. And I really thought to make us feel bad they were going to shoot him. I'm glad that wasn't predictable. They kept making it almost like that, where he's like, oh, well, I could show you really quick, and almost going into the apartment a few times. But I was shocked, and the way that first guy handled it when Jesse had the gun on him, I was hoping Jesse could escape out the window, but you caught on to that first, Kim, because I didn't. And when he's like lieutenant, I'm like, wow, it's great that they have codes like that. And I was rambling saying, I hope they're good cops because we see a lot of corruption in a lot of things we watch. So I was like, well, maybe they do have an alternate motive to be there. I didn't even catch on until you started saying it. I'm like, no. And I didn't think so. I'm like, holy crap, they are bad people. And the connections we saw through flashbacks on how he knew these people from the wielding company. And
they had to weld all that stuff. Probably the bars on his cage too.
Probably.
They had to do a lot of work. That's
the way they treated him like a dog, like that's insane, you know? So I like the movie. I like the path it took, learning what Jesse did. It was more simplified, but I like it because the ending of Breaking Bad, the series, was so crazy. Like, it was so good and intense. Yeah. And like kind of relief, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This was different. It had moments, but it wasn't like a crazy action movie. And I feel complete. Like, I felt pretty complete last time, but I really wanted to see what happened with Jesse. And some good, as sad as it was, some good came out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And actually giving a goodbye letter to Ross.
He's got his solitude. He's got his peace.
That's right.
He can start fresh. And exactly right. The show was so crazy. They had to tie up all these loose ends with all these characters.
Yes.
And Jesse was the loose end that, like, what happened to him? So this was perfect for him. I'm glad it happened in his favor.
Me too. And I like how it started with his friends first, because they were even saying to Walt last episode, the finale, like, oh, I didn't realize, or maybe the episode before that, like, oh, I thought Jesse was in Alaska or something. And he kept saying that. And they never saw Jesse after, you know, the show ended. So actually seeing that follow through, and how heavy it's set with them, where they're watching their friend and it's quiet. We don't have a lot of dialogue. And we know kind of what Jesse went through. And his friends are really understanding, like, this is bad. And Pete trying to, like, tell him, use the soap, man. You can use that. That one might have hairs on. Like, trying to pamper him a little bit because he feels bad and wants him to feel safe and comforted. I thought that was great, and following through with that, and then going to the next thing to get the money to, oh God, and we needed some danger in it, so to have that tie-in with these wielding guys, like, that was just insane. And seeing how crazy that one mouthy guy was, that was so quiet because he didn't want to get shot before. Like, I thought he would just, I know when your life's on the line, you react differently, but he was still very, like, loud and crazy. He was on drugs, too, and drinking a lot that night when he was like, hey, man, you're not going to give him anything else. I'm like, well, he has a gun, and you were really quiet last time when, you know, he had a gun at you. Not that he was pointing at him, but yeah, so Jesse did not want to kill him, and I think he handled that well for being in danger, walking right into danger like that, and saying, I don't want to rob you, I'm just asking for a favor. Not that he could ever pay him back or anything, because then he's going to not exist anymore. But he was able to kill them, and that one main guy was ready. Like, he wanted to fight.
He was. And he took a gamble anyway, even when they first met him at saw him again at Todd's place, when he's like, no, I'm not putting my gun down. You put your gun down. Even when he had his partner, you know, at gunpoint, he's like, I'm not putting my gun down. So he did take chances. And
that was actually a sign that he might not be a cop, because that's the first thing you would probably do as a cop, right? Like, put your gun away. You'd be like, okay, no, we're good. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. You're pointing your gun at me, I'm going to point it at you. And then this guy was like quiet and like, what's going on? So I guess I kind of had a red flag there, but I still did not think they weren't cops. I thought maybe they were dirty cops, I guess. Like, trying to recall what I was thinking. I was panicking, but
and it was
very shocked.
Definitive when he didn't have handcuffs. When he said, "Hey, you don't have handcuffs?"
That's true. Yeah, you know what? And I think I was just freaking out that I'm like, okay, yeah, you're gonna tie him up. Okay, well, that's probably good. So then they're not gonna try to shoot each other or something.
And the only other way you can think about it that they wouldn't have it is they're just in there to collect information. They weren't expecting to see anybody in there to make an arrest.
Yeah. And the way when they first walked in, too, and they're like, oh, wow, they really did a number on this place. And I kind of thought they knew that was ransacked. Like, someone went in and actually destroyed the place. So I think I questioned right when they walked in and they're just talking casually and closed the door. I'm like, are they going to search to make sure there's no one else there? Because it looks like someone robbed the place and might still be there.
Yeah.
So I had that in my head, but I still thought they were cops. I did not think they were dirty people at all. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
at that point, I thought they were cops, definitely. And I thought, well, maybe they were talking about the other cops going in prior and saying, wow, they really did a thorough job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think they would communicate that or something. You're right, because I don't know, like, oh yeah, we kind of like trashed that place really bad, but yeah. So I'm curious if you guys actually caught on to that right away watching this. I was definitely delayed in it, but that was a big scene that was shocking, and that was the most intense scene. I feel I was really freaking out, and I had the whole like, and when I plug my ears, I have the earbuds in my ears, so it doesn't really help. I try to like plug them right ahead of my earbuds, so they're still in my ear, but it kind of muffles them a little bit.
You know, when you're scared, it's like you do all these you don't realize you're doing it. It's just like
that,
it responds in some way. So
yeah,
I just like
for sure, tie
my fingers in a knot and
I know, right? We're like, ah. See, we're just reacting, guys. We're just blind to it. But yeah, so that was the most intense scene. I'm glad we didn't focus all the way on Todd. I thought that was going to go till the end. I was like, I don't want to keep seeing these flashbacks with him because he's so uneasy. Great actor. He's great. He's like,
he's
He's a very good actor. That's what makes him so creepy.
He's creepy,
he's so good
definitely.
at it.
Yeah.
To have Jesse throw that housekeeper out the window with the.
I know. I was freaking out there, and I was like, oh god, I don't want to see a splash. She's gonna like slip out of the rug and. That poor lady. Oh my god. Bringing the money back, not even stealing it. She brought it back. She couldn't speak English well, and she wanted to let him know that she didn't even think he knew about it. And then that was her end. Like that.
She was probably just taking it out and dusting.
Hardworking, innocent lady. Yeah.
That's opened up.
Probably. And just how calm Todd was about it. So, anywho, I love following Jesse. Yes. I'm glad things worked out for him. I like the scene with him and Walt talking from the beginning more casually. And I know Walt did care for Jesse to a certain extent, trying to have conversation, but Walt always judged people, and he always judged Jesse as like this low-life, uneducated person. And I know he wasn't good in class, but he is really smart, and he learned a lot from Walt too. And I love how and I love how he throws it right back at him. And he's like, "I did graduate."
Right,
you were on a stage.
That's right.
You know, I think he took a lot from Walt in this movie. Standing up to those guys, the guys in the welding company, and standing up to them again at right at the FDA when he was going to get arrested or whatever. Like, he stood up a lot, and I think it almost felt like a Heisenberg move that what Walt would make, what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good.
I think so.
I learned from him. He took a lot from Walt, and
yes, he did.
And this instance, it really helped out. Even with the guy, the vacuum guy, he's like, I'll come back. You know, he played his bluff, and he thought he didn't call the cops, and he was like, I know you didn't call the cops, yada yada yada.
And you were right, Cheng.
He sure did.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering because I like how Jesse was talking, because I started believing Jesse. I'm like, holy crap, maybe he didn't. I was so sure he did. But I'm like, yeah, he really followed through with that too. Like, he learned so much through all these bad experiences that he's like, yeah, they're going to call you right back. I know you didn't do that. And maybe it's not a 911 call. Maybe it's just a local police number or something that you call, and it's just a different kind of, I don't know. I don't know if they handle that differently.
Maybe he called the non-urgent, but
so Jesse had that wrong, or it was just a different number or something to call the cops. And so he took off. But I love how he handled it, because I thought that guy was going to get violent, because he does bad crime, hiding their identity, like resetting these bad people to a new life. I don't know if there's a lot of good people who do that, but a lot of bad history people who are wanted are going through this guy to reset their identity. Like, that's such a bad crime. So I thought he was going to have some kind of backup, like a rifle or something, or a pistol behind his counter. And he's very clean. Like, he makes sure to keep it very honest. I like doing my quotes. But he called the cops, because what better way to show that you're a very honest man making an honest living, having these cops come in and look over the place or something. And he's like, yeah, this guy was here. But it was nice that he actually changed his description. Yeah, he was young, so we're like, okay, what's he gonna say?
Pulls really us in. Tall,
6.5 or something, really tall, like almost 7 feet. And has a tattoo. And I think he said the tattoo because he did have the beanie with the bird on it that was over the same eye that he said. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that was like a quick thing that he thought up, you know? So that was actually really nice. I didn't think he was going to go through it, but he actually was about the money. He's like, you screwed me over, you owed me for that, but he gave the money back. So even though he, again, does a bad job, he's also a good guy in a sense, too. He even helped Walt more. He got paid all the time, of course, but he's like, well, you're a special case and you can't do anything without getting caught, so I need to help you out. And he probably did that as well because he didn't want to have that traced back to him, not that it would, and he trusted Walt not to say anything about him.
He was very much a businessman.
He very much was, yeah.
Even when Walt wanted him just to stay just for companionship, he was charged, what, $10,000?
A lot of money, yeah.
So it was always, so I don't discredit him for saying no to Jesse because it was very much it's a business deal.
He could have just said no just because of the pride, and I don't think he has a lot of pride. He seemed like a compassionate person too, but he was right, and he's like, no, this is the exact number you have to give me. I don't budge on that at all. So
he
had
right down to $1,800 short. Yeah, he was like, nope.
To really prove it, because he actually left the first time and left them there hanging, and that was not good. And Saul said, you cannot do it to this guy, you only have one time. So that's a huge thing for him to be like, you got to work hard. And he actually gave him back the money. I thought he was going to have to start over and find a lot more money again and have like all that lost and have to leave it on the counter. I thought he was going to like pull out a pistol and be like, yeah, this is what you owe me, get out, and that's it. So I'm glad that he was able to go to Alaska. So I feel sad. Like, I did enjoy this movie a lot. I thought it was really good. But now it's truly over, Breaking Bad.
Yes, right.
I think there's a behind the scenes of the movie, so maybe we'll watch that at some point so we could talk more, because I'm sure you guys will want me to discuss
Who knows?
things.
Maybe they might have a sequel and find out what happened to Walt's family.
Who knows? I mean, that might be short-lived. I can't imagine what they could do, but maybe.
Maybe.
I know they
never
have
know
a
what Walt
prequel.
Jr. is going to do with that money.
Right? Oh, yeah, that's true. Who knows? Hopefully something good. He'll do something good. He will.
He'll do something good.
I think he will. We do have a poll on our Patreon for what TV show we're going to be watching next. It might end by the time this comes out. And I do believe that Better Call Saul is the winning one, and that's a prequel to Breaking Bad. And it might even be present like in certain parts of the Breaking Bad series. I'm not sure. If it's not a spoiler, if you guys want to let us know, or we'll just find out. I think we'll just watch it and figure it out ourselves, you know, if that wins. So we'll do one season of whatever wins the poll and go from there. So that way we don't full on commit to an entire series, because all of you guys are great in our channel, and some do question certain things like, well, why don't you commit to a full series? You should just commit. And others like, don't commit because XYZ seasons suck. I'm not going to watch if you do that. So we just have a whole lot of different opinions. So we try to just please everyone, guys. So thank you guys for being patient with us. And we do enjoy what we do. We absolutely do. But we just like to remind you guys that we really do listen to everyone on the channel. And you're not being ignored. We take on a ton of requests every week.
Well, we have him sending a letter to Brock saying goodbye. I'm glad he went to that route and not to his parents. Like, sorry, I didn't meet you at the park. Sorry, I took your
right.
I'm glad that he didn't meet up with them, because I was like, that's too obvious, because they want him to get arrested because they think that's going to help him because he's in trouble. And if he goes there and then robs them, that's going to be worse. So how smart was it that he sent them there? And and the water, the faucet's still running. Like, it shows how much he's desperate on the phone. Like, they really do love him. And I know his mom, again, had tough love, and his father was more like, you know, they were both there for him, but the father was more like trying to be, like, not his buddy, but wasn't trying to give him tough love like the mom. But I really felt like they were going to call the cops and meet him there.
Definitely. I thought so, too. I thought they were going to call the cops en route.
I mean, the cops were watching the house, too, so maybe they would have gone to them in the first place, right? Because there were cops there. Weren't there cops right in the front watching?
Yeah, and they followed, right? Didn't they follow?
Did they follow? They did look. They did adjust.
And then there was an SUV.
Oh, so maybe they did follow.
And then his car pulled in.
Okay, maybe
Two
they did
cars,
follow.
two vehicles left, unless it was him and her going in separate vehicles.
I'm not quite sure if you guys can explain that further too,
either.
but I saw the guy joke and said, hey, he looks like Bjorn. But when Jesse looked at the front of the house, I think there were still people there.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know, but that's what I thought. And when he looked over, maybe one car, maybe there's two cop cars out there and one followed or something. And not cop cars, but, you know, whatever car the cops were in. Jesse looked into the front and saw that there was someone there. So it's good that he's thinking like that, and then he snuck in the back way. So for his parents to have 2 guns there, he was surprised, I think, that they had guns. And I said at first that maybe it was for protection against him, and maybe it was because they also were afraid for their own safety because of all the exposure of how bad he was or what bad situation he was in. That might attract bad people.
That could have been, or it could have been just him being associated with people that were shady to begin with. Like, it looked like they had that safe there.
And that was his grandfather's gun, so maybe they always had those guns
Grandfather's gun. She was home more than him. I want to be protected too. I want to have my own gun. So she probably got the 22.
So that's good. And when they left in such a hurry, they didn't even think the gun. So I'm now starting to think that wasn't because of that. Like with Jesse, I think it was because of just protection purposes. And because it was probably just in the family, and maybe Jesse had no clue they had those guns. And the mom maybe got another gun afterwards or something. Or the dad. Going back to how Jesse was like Walt, there were so many moments like that where he's been through so much, learned so much, sadly in certain ways. He actually really thought ahead and planned things out so perfectly to get away with things. When he walked in to the wielding place and all the people are there and he was armed, and we knew he was holding both guns in the safe before. So I didn't even think he had one hidden in his pocket, but he was way prepared because that main guy was like, I know you have a gun. Shut up, man. He has a gun. But he was being cool about it. So I kind of thought he had his own gun too. I'm like, I don't know where it is, if he's wearing it. I mean, they're at a party and they're relaxed. They're at their own place with a huge, like, not security system, but fence, barbed wire and stuff that they're probably safe and don't think anything of it. So maybe he's not armed. But I'm like, there's a gun somewhere around there that he's going to walk to and grab it. But he had it the whole time. So I love what Jesse did, where Jesse had the gun. He showed him because he called him out on it. I know you have a gun. And then he's making fun of him for the 22, and he's holding it there, you know, right in his front on the belt. And he freaking just used the other gun in his pocket. And it was before, like, they could even think, you know, they're just standing there. And Jesse just
it was
insane.
Ideal. And it was perfect.
And he knew right what to do because the other guy went, grabbed the gun, and so Jesse dived and got the better gun from the guy he just killed, turned around and shoot off and killed him. So he really knew what to do in that moment. So very smart. And
very smart. And unfortunately, it's because he had experience in other, in other episodes of what to do in such a situation to get money. He needed to get out of there.
Yeah.
And they would have no problem killing him. So.
Oh no, yeah, I wouldn't think so. It was neat to see the other friends though scared because they weren't involved in that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like they were all the same. So they're like, oh God, please.
I think they're just in the beginning stages of their crime sprees they're going to have.
Yeah, probably.
You know what's so funny? Either throughout the whole show and throughout this movie, almost every company every small business was a scheme, like a setup for something else, or there was another scam going on. There wasn't like a complete business, just okay. Even
just
better,
like their cleaning company, like with the extermination.
Yes,
you know?
That's right.
And the car wash.
Oh, I was just going to say the car
Saul
wash.
wasn't up to, he wasn't really up to par.
Right.
It makes you really think. I mean, hopefully that doesn't
Isn't
happen
crazy?
a lot, but
no, but it's just so funny. The towing company. The junkyard.
I like having these people that we know through the series show up in this, and even that guy in the junkyard, and he comes in, and he was going to help, and he was going to do a free job for him because he knew that he went through so much. He was compassionate that way, and that was a very dangerous job because here Jesse, his face is all over the news, and he still showed up, and they're still kind of out in the open. That's one of Jesse's friend's house, so they're going to be looking there probably to like interrogate them or just interview or whatever them. And I'm like, that's like exposure right there for him to go out that far to meet up, shake hands in the driveway. I'm like, holy crap. And he's like, I'm going to do this as a freebie. But I love how he did comment, oh, how ironic was it? It just happened just now. So the writers knew that, oh, yeah, they're going to know that. Oh, why did it happen just now? So I like how he made that comment, and took off. Because he could have took that car because that whatever device on the tracker or whatever went off. Yeah, it went off like right at that moment when he was scanning. If that didn't go off and he took it with him and then it went off, like he would have been screwed because it would have known exactly where that location was. So
that's right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of risk in every business that does shady things. So it's not a good idea to do that, right, guys?
That's right.
So props
That's
to
right.
Pete. I really love his character, and he was such a sweetheart. And Badger too, and he actually was involved with driving one car, which was a huge risk because that was Jesse's getaway car. I really enjoyed that. I want to make sure I phrase this correctly, but I do like the idea of Todd's character. I think Todd was a very interesting character, but man, I was so terrified of him. The actor was so good playing that character. I was trying to understand him the entire time because he was so psychotic, where he was so babyish and caring to Jesse, but when it came down to business, well, it just had to happen. Like, he has no remorse. There's nothing there. He's totally removed from the bad. You know, like, don't make me feel bad. Like, I feel bad enough. Not like, oh my God, I can't kill this person. Like, what? Like, he doesn't have normal compassion, or it doesn't register.
As soon as they bury the housekeeper, well, do you have any words? Let's say some words for her.
Yeah, and even rewinding.
Jesse's face is like,
that's really
in the kitchen when they roll her up. Okay, first of all, he puts the freaking belt back on. I couldn't get over that. That's the point, right? And they roll her up in the rug. And then he's like, he walks over and starts food. He starts cooking. So do you like this?
Or he needed water for his soup, and he goes,
let's eat and just leave her there while we eat. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh. So I thought that scene in the desert when Jesse grabbed the gun, we knew he survived because that was a flashback. And I wasn't as scared there because of that. But I thought he was going to have a serious beating. I'm like, maybe he'll shoot Jesse in the foot or the hand or something, and then try to fix him later, like pull out the bullet, or maybe it'll be like a clear shot. And then, be like, oh, well, I had to do that because you threatened me. And I thought that might be a thing. Then we saw Todd. He did defend Jesse a few times, and he did say to his uncle, well, we don't want him to break a leg or something because he might not be able to cook. But that scene, that flashback, was after that scene with Todd initially with Jesse with the gun.
Yes, so, the weekend.
So I wasn't sure what Todd would do there, but he actually still acted like he was a buddy and put his arm around, like, yeah, man, I know this is hard. Let's just look how beautiful this is right now.
You know, I'm doing this to you, but come in, I want to hug you.
Yeah, and he exactly, and he even warned Jesse in the beginning. It doesn't make it right at all with what happened with Andrea, but how he was like, I'm just letting you know, if you do try to run, then we're going to have to, visit that kid of yours and do something about it. So I have to follow what my uncle says. So if you run, we're going to have to do something about that. So he actually warned him before. And we saw the picture all the time, but we never actually had it verbalized, right? I don't think we had that initially from that group that we heard. It's a bummer because he was so desperate to get out that time in the series, and they followed through with what they threatened. He was
exhausted.
That was terrible. I just want to keep talking about the show, but guys, I know we'll probably watch it behind the scenes or something. And guys, I try to talk to a lot of people. I do every week. Our Patreon is what I'm mainly on. So if you guys want to talk about Breaking Bad, you can message me there. If you try to PM me there, that's better. I try to look at all the posts that we get, but we do get a lot of posts on Patreon as well, so I can't keep up with all of them. But so I just feel like I have a ton of things still to say. I do love Walt's character. I love Jesse's character the most. What character is your favorite?
Jesse.
Jesse's your favorite?
Well, you know what? Walt Jr. I have to say that first. So Walt Jr. and then Jesse.
Yeah. Mike was my favorite. Mike too, Saul, and Jesse. But Jesse, at the end, the last episodes, my heart just went out to him.
Mine too.
When Todd got involved, it was all Jesse. But I loved Mike, Saul. They were all great.
And then Hank.
Yeah, Hank.
Yeah.
So many emotions.
Yes.
As a whole, Jesse's my favorite character, and it's probably because of my heartstrings getting pulled so much too. I love Walt's character for how many changes he went through from the beginning to the end, and then actually kind of turning around a little bit at the end to kind of redeem himself a little bit. So I really enjoy his arc. But Jesse's my favorite character. I had a lot of wide emotions with him, and then Walt is right there, second runner-up. So many characters that were so terrific. I'm not saying none of the other ones were nothing. They were amazing. Skylar, Marie. I loved Hank. Hank was probably a third. I really I was traumatized when he died. I was really hoping he'd survive the series. And that whole thing with the cartel and him almost being paralyzed, I thought, okay, that was the major scare. They're not going to kill him off now. Like, he already had his moment. That's it. But nope, it could happen at any time. And it was really bad timing there. So that really traumatized me a lot. But really good show all around. I want to say it's probably one of my favorite shows. We watch a lot of good stuff.
I want to say that too.
Me too.
I want to say it too. I really do. I really enjoyed it. Even Gus, I loved Gus too.
Gus,
He was a great character.
Yeah, I do love Gus too. He was so great and professional with this whole job.
Oh,
and to have a chicken joint, no one has any clue.
Oh.
You know how smart on how he
That's
did his
another
organization.
business that wasn't really just a chicken joint.
Yeah, and putting the stuff in the meal or whatever, like he was just so smart to do it that way. But he was a really good character. He was so intimidating, and we kept going back and forth. Okay, well, what does he mean? You know, because he's always so serious that we were always trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, well, is he a little compassionate? Is he not? But he was so businesslike and very powerful. And yeah, he was a very good character. I enjoyed his story a lot too. But yeah, so Jesse Wall, very good, and I really wanted to see more with his family in this, but it was well done and finished in the series, so I am fine with that, being left alone. I have to make a comment, because Kim, you did too, about the freaking snow globe that Todd had, and that was a custom-made snow globe. You can't tell me any different. Lydia in a teacup or whatever. It was probably Resplenda. And Todd in a freaking snow globe. That was perfect. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is so great. So that was just for the fans to have it right up on the shot like that. That was so good. So hands down, had to mention that. So
that was.
Oh my gosh.
And
that says a lot. He was infatuated with her.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
So it was fun to see his personality and always trying to question and think, what is he thinking? In this movie too, we get like that. I definitely do, and we're blind to stuff. Like, I'll start to kind of guess what's going to happen because I get nervous and excited and really into it. And I keep telling myself to stop it. But in this movie, I kept doing it because I wanted to know. And I'm like, okay, stop. And sometimes we get each other excited because we all do it. And then we're like, oh, like, who's going to get shot here? Ah! And then nothing happens, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel something bad's going to happen here. And then we're like calm. And then we're like, someone says it, usually me. And it's like, oh, God, okay, what's going to happen? So it gets like really messed up really fast. But yeah, so very good all around. And we always watch shows and movies together. We really enjoy what we do. We have all wonderful comments on our channel. And once in a while, we'll still have respectful comments. But a few people were saying, oh, well, you guys like everything you watch. And we do. We like a lot of things that we watch. And if we don't, we talk about it. There's nothing that we really don't like. I'll put it that way. And we're honest about what we talk about. But we watch what people recommend. We watch what people request. So they're popular requests that a lot of people like. So we're watching a lot of good stuff. So I think that's probably why also that we like a lot of stuff that we watch. We're not just watching random stuff that people don't talk about. If it's not talked about, then it's probably not a good show. But who knows? I don't know. That's just my theory. But I don't know. Like, I think we have good opinions. And I know we're not the common opinion of certain things because also, I believe a lot of people are so heavily influenced by media that people will go by most popular opinions and feed off of that just because after we watch something, we read comments and it has a pattern. People have their own ideas, don't get me wrong, but I notice a lot of people will be heavily influenced or tell me that they were, well, this is like my family watched this and they were so negative that I just saw it in a negative way, or my friends did, and I was just molded that way where I just thought the same thing. But then after watching you guys, I saw it in a different light and I actually had fun with it. So that was actually quite interesting. And I've heard that a lot. So yeah, so anywho, just wanted to say that. And thank you guys for being so supportive. Our Patreon is what keeps us going. Thank you guys so much. Please check our links below. If you want to support us, that is awesome. You can check out our full reactions on our Patreon. Thank you for watching and we'll see you very soon as always.
Bye.
Thumbs up.
Oh my God, what a show, huh? That was great.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, I'm so happy for Jesse. I'm sad, but I'm really happy for him. That was good.